Hi, Jeremy. How are you?
Hi everyone. Namaste, and to our friends in Thailand, Sawadee Krap, Xin Chao in Vietnam, and Ni Hao in China. Thank you for joining on the line. Selamat datang to my friends also from Indonesia. Um, very excited to have you coming on board and joining us. I'm currently now based out of India for the next few weeks and in a co-working environment and also but I'm originally based in Singapore. Very excited to have all of you to come and join our session. Okay. So for today, I think we have a few questions that I want to ask the team. So what I'll do is I will flash them on the screen, and I think let's go through it today. I think we'll cover a few topics around our perspective of assurance, brand protection, and how it links to the different.
Hello.
Give me a minute. I'm trying to share the screen.
Okay, sure. Good luck. Jeremy, thank you so much for joining us. It's really an honor for us to have you here as a keynote speaker.
Sorry, I was having issues with sharing the screen. Let me try to reshare.
Okay, sure.
Thank you so much.
Okay, so yeah, I can perfectly see your slides. Good luck. Stage is all yours
That's
now.
amazing. That's amazing. Okay. So thank you so much for today and opportunity to see everyone. I see that we have a few people on the line. Quite a few people on the line. Please write your comments in the chat and feel free to stop if you want to have some questions. We can go through and talk about it. So today I want to talk about the topic about the future of assurance. Okay, and how do we fundamentally trust someone, and how consumers' purchasing habits are evolving, and how is fact checking done, and more importantly, how brands are differentiating themselves in the post-COVID world. Okay, my name is Jeremy. My email is jeremy@hp.com. So reach out if you have any thoughts or comments throughout the seminar, or put it into the chat. I want to ask an important question when it comes to brand protection, okay, and intellectual property. It's always about the communication, right? A lot of people say if you communicate, then the customer will trust you. But is trust a communication or a journey? I think this is the key question I want to ask today. Okay, so what do y'all think? Can if you're on the line and you're listening to this, can you write in the chat? Do you think trust is a communication, or do you think trust is a journey? Okay, so please write them in the chat. I want to hear your thoughts because we have quite a few people online, so you can be quite lively. Okay, um, so this is how thoughts that we have. Okay. The next one is trust simply just about communication? Okay, so I want to share with you a comic over here. Okay, let's read this together. Okay, if I were to give you 5 apples and then you take 3 apples away, how many are you left with? Okay, trust issues. Okay, usually from a mathematical standpoint, 5 - 3, 5 apples take away 3 is 2. But from a perspective of someone that is that is a consumer, okay, and if you were to for example, reduce the quantity or make changes to the product without being able to communicate the journey, okay, of how it was started. It feels like they can't trust you anymore. Okay, so a little bit like that. Okay, and this is said about products. This can be said about recalls, product recalls. This can be said about product authentication, security in terms of counterfeit products. Okay, so again, many different topics around this. And the other one that I also like to use in my slides is, if you trust me, how come you don't say so in your diary? So it's like between someone, right? Between family, if trust me, why don't you say so in your diary? So trust is just about communication. And actually, there is a saying in Hindi, and I'm going to try because I'm trying to pick it up. Okay, so it takes me a while. It says, "Vishwas jitna badi baat nahi hai, Vishwas banaye rakna badi bit hai." Okay, so it means getting trust is not as important, but maintaining trust is. Okay, so I think this was also another point that was being covered. Okay, that working on trust is a long-term process, the effort. Okay, and I have a few topics. I have a few points why I wanted to talk about this. Okay, so this is done by HP Research, and we did a bit of work to really deep dive. Um, as we see in Asia, okay, including ASEAN, including India, ASEAN, and and markets around Asia, based on World Trade Organization. Okay, we have the total Asian merchandise export. That means exporting out. Okay, is 22 billion. Okay, so if you were to see this, because it's in millions. Okay, so if you will see this, that is in 2020. Okay, and if we talk about counterfeit goods and merchandise, and using Smith's Pira as well as Association of Consumer Research data, we understand that it's valued at 8%. Okay, and by the way, 8% is a very high amount, which means we could say that goods around our supply chain in Asia is almost 1 out of 10. Okay, that means for every 10 parcels you receive via the post or like DHL or something like that, that is being shipped. Okay, 1 out of 10 is actually counterfeit. Okay, and we try to link this data to what we see in the market. Okay, so the United States Executive Office and the Executive Office of the President released a piracy and counterfeiting report for 2021 and highlighted that 12 out of 42 of online markets contains infringing products hosted in Asia Online, and this is based off in China, Indonesia, Vietnam, Singapore, and it has many different platforms. Okay, I think some of them you might also know. It's like AliExpress, Baidu, Bukalapak, DHgate, IndiaMart, Shopee, and of course there's physical markets around in Asia, okay, which is like that is mentioned in the report also for counterfeit goods that is moving around different markets in Asia, including China, India, Indonesia, Malaysia, Philippines, Vietnam. Okay, and I can say that this we try to link this report to the news, and we can see this happening. You can see fake medication on the left, Pfizer, fake medication. This is a Viagra product, as you can see, VGR. All right, so you can see this is a fake Viagra product, and in the middle you can see fake medication, fake paracetamol. And in Vietnam as well, it's a scandal, a rise of illegal pharmacies in Singapore. Okay, by the Straits Times, BBC talking about Malaysia, fake face mask, fake medicine in Malaysia and Mozambique. Again, the mode has, as you can see, the mode has not incredibly changed, but the medium has definitely changed. Last time, they were doing counterfeit electronics in many markets. Okay, but as you know now, it changed. Okay, it became a little bit different. Okay, they moved to medication and pharmaceutical products. Okay, so again, there is definitely some change when we see this. Okay, and now as we look in trust as a fundamental building block in Asia, In Malaysia, you can see that there are fake COVID-19 vaccination certificates, and also in North Korea and as well as Philippines, okay, with different products, paracetamol, for example. Um, so again, this trust in Asia is still developing, and it takes time to develop and to grow, okay? And this is where our effort comes in to provide some sharing around this a few different topics. And we look today, actually, in terms of Asia, we are still growing really fast. Okay, and this is also our research, HP research, together with the Smithers Spira. We can see in terms of the market in 2021 to 2026, we can see that Asia is on the rise. Okay, and it's from 41.2 to 41.8%. And primarily, we can see security volume moving from Americas as well as from Europe, and they are contributing back to Asia. Okay, so in terms of global trend line, we're looking at a 4.2%. Okay, what that means from a statistical perspective is that the market is growing on an average at 4.2%, but in Asia we are doing at 7.5%. CAGR. Okay, so which means that we are above the trend. We are moving at extremely fast pace. Okay, and we are the powerhouse of global trade and consumer manufacturing of anti-counterfeit products. Okay, so again, it's very interesting. All right, so to give like a sort of a summary, because I have to find a product link, so I use pharmaceuticals, which are many of our HP customers are actually printing on. If we were to look inside this as a summary, safety and consumers trust as the rule, and we have trends like aging, and we have trends like self-care, healthcare accessibility, counterfeit, and we have different trends around pharma, which is and it can be used for all the other markets, like electronics. Okay, it's similar. Okay, increased demand of drugs and treatments, personalized treatments, increased pressure on legislation, regulations, sterilization, and new distribution partners, direct consumers. So making it shorter runs, shorter lead time, regulation, secure supply chain, and things like that. Okay. So again, these are the trends, but I would say the key driving point here is that secure pharmaceutical packaging or secure packaging, or we call it smart secure packaging, as the key driver and differentiator in the market, done digitally. Okay, and this is the driving point behind this. If every product comes out is the same, and you put, for example, a holographic label, it will not be able to ward off counterfeiters. Okay, in the moving trend and in the moving world, every product needs to be unique and needs to be different, and being able to do full-on track and trace, and that is just one of the layers from security implementation. Okay. I want to share with everyone a project that we worked on, and the problem here is about managing counterfeit products in Asia, especially in developing markets with distributors. Okay, so as many of you know, and also maybe on the line, in Asia we have different models of doing business. That is going directly to the customer, and there's also going indirectly, going through a distributor. And most of the businesses here are done through distributors because they have the local networks and connections. And so as you can see, work together with one of the largest motor oil and lubricant company called Motul. They are the sponsor for WBSK and MotoGP motorcycle competition races, and also a very strong lubricants supplier. So as you can see, in Asian markets, they have implemented a new system to manage the brand of working together with a HP a partner, Scantrust, and also working hand in hand together with HP to develop this solution. And from HP perspective, we help and assist with the printing with the printing partner. Okay, and Motorola provides the full service of the label and approval of the label to be placed across their products, and being able to manage their relationships with the distributors. Okay, as consumers, it's very hard to identify motor oil you're buying and whether it's counterfeit or original. You have so much idea, and this really changed how they do business in Asia, especially in developing markets. Okay, so in Vietnam, Thailand, Cambodia, you'll see this coming up in many of these markets. And I moved from Motul. I wanted to share another example that we have, and this is for the high security market. Um, and this is something that we also worked on recently. Um, we were working on a project for tax revenue protection. Okay, for example, purchasing of alcohol and also purchasing of tobacco products require tax implementation solutions. Okay, so again, we work together hand in hand, together with the authorities and together with the team, to work on with them a full solution around protecting the tax revenue team in Nepal. Okay, so this is sort of cooperation hand in hand, and to fight against the counterfeiters and to provide full end-to-end verification. So the problem here lies around a way to manage all the tax stamps that were going around in Nepal and to have a consolidated database. Okay, and also to fight against counterfeiters and the different types of labels that they were using. Okay, so we developed a unique solution where every single label is different. Okay, and it contains variable features that can be checked by both the inspector and the customer, given the citizens. So this is a full solution that was implemented around the market to protect against counterfeiters. Okay, and this is a sharing that we have. So when we talk about the security printing, we have it's a multi-layer authentication. Okay, we talk about consumer level authentication. Okay, using security graphics, color shifting ink, silver ink, and these are inks that HP developed, holographic elements. And we talk about covert and semi-covert that requires the use of magnifying glass, mobile application, and track and trace solutions. And we also provide solutions around forensic ink, okay, which is only can be tested in the lab and contains very small amount on the substrate itself. Okay, so when we look at security printing, we see it as multi-layer, multi-structured. Okay, and now when we look at applications that we work on in the market, we see from HP perspective, we split to 3 different categories: brand protection, general security, as well as high security, with on-pack packaging, security labels as brand protection. Okay, so for example, you can see over here on the on packaging, you have the olive oil over here, and olive oil. What it can be done is around here there is a wiggly line, the IVI, and on top of that there's invisible logo of the brand and the invisible QR code at the bottom left of the packaging. So this is something that many different brands are doing implementation for. Security labels. For example, I'm sure many of us have used a HP product before. You know that on ink cartridges, you have the HP Authentication Label. And this is an example done by our customer in China and in Taiwan called Symmetric. And they work with ATT, Advanced Track and Trace, to come out with their own authentication label. And also general security, we have vouchers, ticketing, gaming, ID cards, secure documents, tax stamps, as well as banknotes and passports. Okay, so different security levels. Okay, and all of these solutions are developed and designed together with us and our security partners. And we developed a solution for this. It's called the HP Integral Brand Protection Plus digital presses. And these Brand Protection Plus digital presses are designed for brands through with our printing partners for them to grow their business. Okay, so again, this is a solution that we provide. And when we talk about language of digital security, it's not about track and trace, and it's not about the end-to-end authentication. It's not also about variable layered authentication, a multi-factor based authentication, but we also talk about short run, a quick time to market, on-demand e-commerce, cost marketing, time sale marketing, seasonal marketing, barcode, QR code, security, invisible inks. We talk about color that pops, samples, proofing, no inventory, prototype. So all of these are not just focusing around security, but also to the business side. The business can now engage with consumers and provide two-way interaction marketing platform with the customer. Okay, not just on security, but also in terms of engagement, consumer engagement. So being able to implement the security solution is just one step, but being able to allow the user to engage with the security QR code and being able to get them to interact with the customer and work with them to join marketing campaigns is another step, is the next step. Okay, and we know many brands, for example, like Mutul, I shared just now, is looking at this with the new platform they have for distributors and doing business in Asia, which allows them to authenticate. They are now also having and thinking of new ways about how to incentivize and reward their consumers. Okay, so it's definitely a trend. And from a HP perspective, we work together hand in hand together with our brands to provide not just solution on printing, but to also provide the full solution around inks and softwares and security solutions. Okay, up to 7 spot colors, including cyan, magenta, yellow, and black. Okay, which customers can print on. OGV, orange, violet, and green, as well as violet for credit cards. As you know, Visa is a particular shade of blue that requires special work. High opacity white, silver inks, color shifting inks, Tigan, UV, IR, micro inks, scratch off inks for lottery, invisible inks, light fastness inks, light inks. So a wide range of variety of inks available. Okay, and this is not just to print the solution, but also to provide a solution around inks and as well as software. And in terms of the key focus areas in the market, we see that security packaging and pharmaceutical in particular has been growing at more than 65% year on year. And this is also due to increased government legislation and variation. Okay, criminal intentions and data breaches. We also see the rise of identity theft, revenue protection while keeping identification safe, consumer protection law, and multi-factor behavioral location-based variable authentication. What that means is like you scan a QR code on medicine. Okay, after you scan it, it takes into account the location of your phone. Okay, after you agree to it. Okay, and it takes into account of the location of where you scanned it. Okay, and at what time, at where. And also how you manage to get your hands on this product, and you also link to the database to check when is it manufactured, okay, and how long is the lead time from manufacture to delivery to the customer, okay, and whether is there any middleman in the middle and working through which distribution channel, okay, and all of these can be set up into different rules and being managed, okay. And the next one is on the right is sustainability. We love our green earth. You know that the time will come whereby we have to stop and being able to focus and to use more recyclable and compostable materials. We have been actively promoting this cause for more than a decade now. And in fact, on HP side, we have also pushed and discussed with our suppliers to switch to more carbon neutral or rather a more options that contains a higher percentage of recyclable materials within the product. And actually, most of them right now, if you were to go to the store and you buy, most of the inks that were being printed are sustainable inks on our product. Therefore, reducing emissions, waste, make ready time, and lowering our response time and time to the market. Okay. So I believe we have been through this entire journey, and we have been step by step, hand in hand through this entire process. And I want to go back to a question that I first started. Is trust a communication or a journey? And I think it's a tough. If you ask me, it's a tough question because most of us being in this business has always been talking about like, you know, if you want to trust with the customer, you want to have trust with the customer, just over communicate, talk to them. But it's not. It's about bringing them. I personally feel it's about bringing them in the journey, allowing them to understand the motivation, okay, of why this exists. Having, for example, having a PayPal to launch this tax stamp, being able to allow them to understand the importance about having to authenticate products, okay, as they arrive into the country, and also having consumers trust when they receive the product on their hands, being getting different tobacco, alcohol, and many of these different products from the right distributors, okay, and same for motor oil, being able to put a reliable motor oil into the hands of consumers, and really communicating the journey, allowing the distributors to really understand, and having customer-based communication with the customers to allow them to have a website to allow them to see the journey about why this happens, okay, and being able to build trust in this entire process. So I don't see it as a way of just releasing a letter. I see this as a way of having, like for example, companies do a video and do giveaways and allow consumers to understand through social media channels about why trust is very important to them and how this actually forms the building blocks of the brand and what the brand really believes in. Okay, so again, please write your thoughts. Any questions if you have, please add me on LinkedIn and write and tag me with your thoughts and comments. If you have questions and you have thoughts or you have different ideas for some projects, please feel free to reach out. This is my email and my contact number, both in Singapore and India. Please feel free to send a message. With that, I would like to thank all of you. Please stay safe in this COVID time. Always keep your hands washed, okay? And please send my blessings to you and your family, and have a good day and a good week. And if you have any questions, please let me know in the chat. Thank you so much, and see you soon. Kogum Cup.